Imagine you are standing on a beach at sunset, and the sky is doing something it has never done before. The stars are not twinkling, they are moving, sliding across the sky like water circling a drain, faster and faster, bending into streaks of light that should not exist. The ocean behind you is calm, the air is perfectly still, your phone still has signal. Everything around you feels completely normal. It is not. Somewhere far beyond Neptune, invisible and silent, something has entered our solar system. It has no light, no sound, and no warning. Yet in exactly 19 minutes, Earth is going to fall into it. At first, nobody notices anything unusual. The next sunrise becomes the most beautiful sunrise humanity has ever seen. The sky glows deep violet mixed with brilliant gold. The clouds seem illuminated from within, as if heaven itself has painted the atmosphere. Scientists call it breathtaking. Photographers call it the greatest sunrise in history. Millions of people stop to admire it, filling social media with stunning images. Nobody realizes they are witnessing the first visible symptom of the greatest disaster our planet has ever faced. The light reaching Earth is no longer traveling in straight lines. It is bending around an object so incredibly dense that it is rewriting the path of reality itself. Then, strange things begin happening. The tides no longer follow the moon. Coastal waters rise at impossible times. Instruments aboard the International Space Station detect a tiny shift in Earth's orbit. It is only a fraction of a degree, but it should be impossible. Across the world, observatories compare their measurements. One telescope reports gravitational distortion. Another confirms warped starlight. A third calculates an object moving silently through the outer solar system. The data makes no sense. After hours of checking every instrument, every calculation, and every possible error, the conclusion remains exactly the same. A black hole is approaching Earth. Not a supermassive monster sitting at the center of a galaxy, but a compact stellar black hole with the mass of an entire mountain range compressed into a region no larger than a coin. It is not passing nearby. It is not crossing our orbit. It is coming directly toward us. There will be no explosion announcing its arrival, no blazing fireball across the sky, no warning sirens loud enough to prepare humanity. Because the most terrifying thing about a black hole is not what you see. It is what you never see coming. Here is the first horrifying truth. A black hole does not glow. It does not shine like a star or burn like a planet. In fact, if it were floating through space completely alone, it would be almost impossible to detect. The only reason astronomers ever find black holes is because of what happens to everything unlucky enough to wander too close. Gas, dust, and shattered fragments of matter begin spiraling inward at incredible speeds. As they fall, they heat to millions of degrees, forming a blazing ring called an accretion disk. It becomes one of the brightest objects in the universe. But by the time that glowing ring is visible to the naked eye from Earth, the disaster has already begun. Gravity does not wait for permission. It does not wait for you to understand what is happening. Long before the black hole reaches our planet, its invisible pull begins reshaping the solar system. The moon's influence becomes meaningless. Ocean tides that once rose only a few feet now climb hundreds of feet into the air. Coastlines vanish beneath slow-moving walls of water that advance with terrifying silence. Entire cities disappear beneath oceans that are no longer controlled by the moon, but by a force so overwhelming that the planet itself begins to respond. The ground beneath your feet is no longer solid. Earth's crust starts to flex like soft clay. Invisible tidal forces squeeze one side of the planet while stretching the other. Mountains shift. Fault lines that have slept peacefully for millions of years suddenly awaken. Earthquakes erupt in regions with no history of seismic activity. Buildings collapse far from any tectonic plate boundary. Roads split open without warning. Deep underground, ancient magma chambers begin rising toward the surface. Then, the volcanoes awaken. Some have remained silent for 10,000 years. Others have been considered extinct for millions. Now they erupt together, filling the atmosphere with ash, molten rock, and choking clouds that darken entire continents. Humanity quickly realizes something terrifying. The planet is not being attacked from space. It is being pulled apart from the inside. Every second, the black hole moves closer. Gravity reaches deeper into Earth's interior, twisting rock, bending steel, and cracking the very foundation of the world. This is no longer a natural disaster. It is physics rewriting an entire planet before your eyes. Then the sky itself turns against you. The atmosphere has always protected life on Earth, shielding us from deadly radiation and balancing the weather that makes our planet habitable. But now that protective shell begins to collapse under forces it was never meant to endure. The jet stream tears apart. Instead of guiding storms across continents, it twists into chaotic rivers of air moving in impossible directions. Hurricanes no longer form over warm oceans alone. They appear across entire continents, merging into storms thousands of kilometers wide. Winds stronger than any tornado ever recorded flatten forests, cities, and mountains alike. Above you, the familiar blue sky slowly fades. It darkens into deep shades of purple and black, stained by endless electrical storms. Lightning stretches from horizon to horizon in glowing branches that never seem to end. The entire atmosphere crackles with energy as Earth's magnetic field weakens under the growing influence of the approaching black hole. Then another danger arrives. The accretion disk surrounding the black hole grows brighter every minute. It is not ordinary light. It is the final scream of matter being torn apart before crossing the event horizon. Temperatures climb into millions of degrees, producing powerful X-rays and gamma radiation that race across space at the speed of light. Earth's magnetic shield can no longer stop them. Radiation pours through the atmosphere, damaging satellites first. Communication networks begin to fail. GPS systems drift off course. Spacecraft lose contact with mission control. One by one, the technology that modern civilization depends on quietly disappears. On the ground, electronic systems flicker and shut down. Power grids overload. Hospitals lose electricity. Air traffic control goes dark. Entire countries vanish from the global network within minutes. But even this is only the beginning. Because gravity has one final weapon. A process with a name that sounds almost harmless. Spaghettification. It sounds ridiculous until you understand what it truly means. Gravity is no longer pulling equally on everything. The side of an object closest to the black hole feels a much stronger force than the side farther away. That tiny difference becomes unimaginably powerful, stretching everything longer and thinner until it can no longer hold itself together. Scientists have watched this happen before. Entire stars have been ripped apart into glowing rivers of plasma as they wandered too close to black holes. Telescopes have captured these tidal disruption events in distant galaxies. Now imagine the next object caught in that same gravitational trap. Not a star, not an asteroid, an entire planet, Earth. Now imagine standing on the surface of Earth as those tidal forces continue to grow. At first, you would not feel anything unusual. Then your body would begin experiencing gravity differently from head to toe. Your feet, being slightly closer to the black hole, would be pulled just a little harder than your head. Normally that difference is so tiny it is impossible to notice. Now it becomes overwhelming. Every building, every bridge, every mountain, every ocean begins stretching along the direction of the black hole's gravity. Steel bends beyond its limits. Concrete fractures into dust. Entire mountain ranges slowly distort as if they were made of soft wax instead of solid rock. The oceans no longer resemble oceans. They rise into impossible walls, pulled toward the invisible monster racing through the solar system. Rivers reverse direction. Lakes spill across continents. Earth's shape itself begins to change. Then comes the point of no return. Ahead lies the event horizon. It is not a wall. It is not a glowing portal. It is an invisible boundary where gravity becomes so absolute that nothing can escape. Not spacecraft, not planets, not light itself. Once anything crosses that line, every possible path through space leads only inward. There is no turning back. There is no rescue mission. There is no signal sent home. From your own perspective, you continue falling. Seconds feel normal. Your heartbeat continues. Your thoughts remain clear. Yet to someone watching from far away, something impossible happens. Time begins to slow. The closer you get to the event horizon, the slower you appear to move. Your final moments stretch longer and longer until they seem frozen forever. Light leaving your body becomes redder, weaker, and dimmer until you slowly fade into darkness. You never appear to cross the event horizon at all, but from your perspective, you already have. Beyond that boundary, modern physics begins to fail. Einstein's equations describe the journey with incredible accuracy almost all the way down. But at the center lies the singularity, a place where density becomes infinite and the laws of nature stop giving meaningful answers. Some physicists believe everything is crushed into an infinitely small point. Others think hidden quantum effects prevent that from ever happening. Some theories suggest information is somehow preserved. Others propose entirely new regions of spacetime beyond our understanding. No experiment has ever answered the question. No message has ever returned. Because once the event horizon is crossed, the universe keeps its secrets forever. Now, imagine the final seconds. The horizon is gone. The oceans no longer have a shoreline. Mountains that stood for hundreds of millions of years have become flowing waves of rock. The atmosphere is no longer blue, but a dark curtain of ash, lightning, and radiation. Every city, every monument, every trace of human civilization has become insignificant beneath the weight of gravity itself. Above you, the sky is almost unrecognizable. The accretion disk burns brighter than the sun ever did, wrapping the invisible black hole in a ring of white fire. Stars behind it twist into impossible circles as space itself bends around the approaching abyss. There is no countdown anymore, no emergency broadcast, no last-minute rescue, only silence. For a brief moment, the entire history of humanity exists at once. Every language ever spoken, every civilization ever built, every discovery, every dream, every memory carried by billions of people across thousands of years. All of it rests on a single fragile planet that is now reaching the point where physics offers no escape. Then the event horizon arrives, not with an explosion, but with absolute certainty. Light can no longer carry information outward. Time itself begins to lose the meaning we have always given it. Beyond this boundary, no observer can tell the rest of the universe what happens next. Earth disappears, not because it has exploded, but because every possible path now leads deeper into the unknown. Perhaps, somewhere beyond our understanding, the information survives. Perhaps reality behaves in ways our equations have yet to reveal. Or perhaps this is simply where human knowledge ends. That is the lesson black holes leave behind. The universe is more powerful than our imagination, more mysterious than our greatest theories, and far stranger than anything we have ever witnessed. Tonight, when you look up at the stars, remember that the darkness between them is not empty. It is filled with wonders beyond comprehension and dangers beyond imagination. Somewhere out there, black holes drift silently through the galaxy, invisible to every eye, obeying only the laws of gravity. And if one ever wandered into our corner of the cosmos, we would never see it coming. The universe would simply continue on, as if we had never existed at all.